ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। आप सभी का स्वागत है फॉर दिस मॉर्निंग रीडिंग एंड डिस्कशन फ्रॉम ईशोपनिषद। वी आर रीडिंग फ्रॉम टेक्स्ट नंबर 7। यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैव विजानतः तत्र का मोहको शोका एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः। So discussion of an advanced devotee is going on, and in the previous verse, tatra vijugupsate, tatra na vijugupsate. Such a person does not envy anyone who sees the presence of Lord in the heart of every living entity. And now in this verse, a further idea has been shared, which is said, one who always sees all living entities, spiritual sparks, in quality, one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What is there as illusion or anxiety for him? Tatra ko moha kaha shoka. Illusion and shoka, anxiety, neither of it exists. One who knows the principle of oneness, ekatvam, the favorite verse from Mayavadis. So last time we discussed about the flaws of the Mayavadis' understanding of this oneness principle. And we also discussed about how we misapply as a sadhaka the principle of oneness, or our own limitations. Or in other words, our own Mayavadi side gets manifested. So what is oneness refers to here? Just like Prabhupada gives an example, it's not wrong entirely to assume, but it is just a high level understanding. It's a superficial understanding. Just like, just looking at some fishes floating on the surface of the ocean, you cannot say the sharks would also be of the same size because they float deep in the ocean. So if you want to understand the depth of particularly Sanskrit text, then you have to really go into the depth of the subject matter. 1 second, unnecessary making sound. What was I saying? You have to go into the depth of it. So the superficial understanding of the word ekatva means, you and I are same. That's very superficial, high-level understanding. That's what Mayavadis stick to. Okay, all right, I am God, they are God. It's still open. Okay. I am God, you are God. That's where conclusion is. But no, that's not the conclusion. Vaishnava philosophy goes more deeper into it. And what ekatvam principle is? For example, if let's say you're playing a cricket match, or for anything, for any sports for that reason, or even in the company, you're part of a team. The principle of oneness means having the common goal or working for the common goal. Just like you're playing a cricket, you're in the World Cup final. So you're supposed to give priority to the vision or the goal of the team set by the leader, not to your own goal, not to your own interest. So the principle of oneness means having the same interest as of the Lord. And then we discussed last time, what does Krishna says about this in Bhagavad Gita? He also says about it. It is not the ISOPANISHAD talks about it. What is the principle highlighted in Bhagavad Gita that speaks on oneness? Nimitta matram bhavya sabyasachi, become an instrument of my grace. Very clearly it is mentioned like that. So that was the discussion we had. I don't know if anyone, we had a very healthy discussion about how as a sadhakas we make mistakes. Anyone have any reflections? Or anyone has made a note on that? How we misapply this ekatvam in our own practice? Anyone remembers anything on that discussion? Yes, Mother Madhavani, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, you were mentioning about how even in the practice of devotional service, even while following instructions of a spiritual master, we still have our sense gratification, our controlling tendency, and our independent mentality creeping in. So we have to be very careful to ensure that we apply this ekatvam principle. That means I do it for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Even if it means, it's not the way that I want to do it. Is that the right understanding, Prabhu?
Okay. We have discussed many things. That's a good point to start with. So, all right. So in that context, taking a cue from where Mother Madhavani have paused, so I made a point, why do Mayavadis fail to understand the real purport of ekatvam? Oneness of interest. Why they just stick to this idea, we are one with the Lord? What was the reason for it? What's the reason for it? And the reason is envy. Reason is envy. So when our consciousness is colored with this defect called as envy, we really cannot in true sense follow the ekatvam principle. Just like imagine one of the team members becomes envious of the captain. He would not align with the goal of the captain. Yes or no? That's it. You have what's that orchestra. There is a captain in the orchestra. He is what governing every instrument. But if somebody is like, "Arey, why should I play to his tune? I am such a great, violin player or pianist and whatnot. Let him do what he wants to do. I want to show to the world how great I am." And he begins to sing his own thing or play his own thing. What happens? It breaks the whole momentum. The whole thing breaks apart, and the whole performance goes to the toss. So why it happened? Only for one reason. Why? And that is what, because it's not that we are born pure. We have envy. That's the reason we are here. And at the sadhaka stage, then we will manifest time and again. And let me give you one example of envy during the course of Srila Prabhupada's time. Let's go back a little bit in the history. 1970, Srila Prabhupada initiates 4 devotees. It was the first sannyas initiation in America. Prior to that, Prabhupada had given sannyas to Kirtananda Maharaj, 1968, if I'm correct. And around a couple of months before, 1972, his Honor Jayapataka Swami Maharaj in Mayapur. And now the first sannyas initiation happens in America. Can you close it? I'm having a headache. First sannyas initiation happens in America. There are 4 devotees who are sannyas: Brahmananda Prabhu, Garga Muni Prabhu, Subala Prabhu, and Vishnujan Swami, or Vishnujan Prabhu became a Vishnujan Swami. And Brahmananda Prabhu was really not ready for sannyas. Now, there is a very interesting story. But Prabhupada told him, take sannyas. And he very clearly said, I was not really looking forward to sannyas. Why did Prabhupada make him sannyas or give him a sannyas? Because some of these devotees had become really attached to their position of temple president or of, managing different centers or, the trustee of BBT, etc., like that, whatever the position they had. And they became very attached. So when you have a position, but naturally, the controllership mentality comes out. This is what you need. Therefore, we need to learn the art of management. You cannot run away from management saying that, I have a controllership mentality, because you have to face this. How will you get purified of it? And they had this controllership mentality, and Prabhupada saw that they are exercising too much control on people, which means devotees, because in the authority position. And Prabhupada gave them sannyas and told them, all right, you are sannyasis now. You got nothing to do with any position. Your only position is as a preacher, mendicant preacher. You go from one center to another. You're constantly on the move. You cannot stay any place more than 3 to 4 days. You keep moving and keep preaching. Because when you're on the constant move, you cannot become attached to anything. What will you become attached to? And you can't even have some people becoming attached to you. Because you go, by the time people say what a great devotee is, another person comes. Isn't it? So Prabhupada gave them initiation. And it was in the middle of the 1970 when Srila Prabhupada instituted Global Body Commission, GBC. GBC body instituted right after this. Why Srila Prabhupada went into a frenzy and did all this thing in hurry? Because something was going on in 1970 and in the late 1969, where Prabhupada was deeply hurt because of disrespect which was shown to Srila Prabhupada. For example, 1969 Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada called up Kirtananda Maharaj and they were having a discussion. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to go to New Vrindavan for Janmashtami. And Kirtananda Maharaj said straight no, you don't need to come here. I was like, wow. You know, he straightforward said, well, Prabhupada, you're not needed here for Janmashtami, something like that. He made a point like this. Then there was a Rath Yatra in San Francisco. The leaders in San Francisco, if I'm correct, yeah, San Francisco in California. Yeah, San Francisco, or Los Angeles, San Francisco probably, because first Santa came in San Francisco, then later on Los Angeles. So that Rath Yatra, the leaders did not allow Srila Prabhupada to sit on the chariot only. They gave an excuse, Nani Prabhupada, there is a threat, there was this black gang, bikers gang. So they're given a threat, will harm your leader or something. And Prabhupada said, no, I want to do it. But they just not allow Prabhupada. And what happened? They themselves sat on the chariot. However, yet Prabhupada came in between during the procession. They didn't want Prabhupada to win the procession. Yet Prabhupada came in the procession. And when Prabhupada saw his disciples, the very same disciples who did not allow him to sit on the chariot, they were sitting on the chariot. Prabhupada said, "Bas, enough is enough." So envy gets manifested in different shapes and forms and figures. Those who are envious, they cannot understand. Those who are beyond it, they can know what's happening. I was recently thinking on the point, what is adverse in act of devotion? Kleshagni subhada moksha lagata prasudallabha. Sandharananda vishesha asma Shri Krishna akashni chacha. Now, kleshagni subhada. That happens very easily. But when it comes to Sandharananda Visheshatma and Krishna Akashni Sacha, Srila Prabhupada Swami says that does not happen. That's very rare. Why? Because that's under the control of Krishna. Krishna does not give easily. So my question to all of you here now, let's open the forum. I'll come back to the story again. Why would Krishna not want to give prema? Why would Krishna would not want to give prema? I mean, he is the one who comes in this world, teaches Bhagavad Gita. He wants us to go back home, back to Godhead. Again and again, he's saying, Yad Gatva Narivatante. Every chapter has a verse which says about the goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. You only can go back home, back to Godhead when you are staying in love for Godhead. I mean, you say you give a lollipop, and then you also don't give a lollipop. You show lollipop, and then you take it away. Why Krishna does it like this? Why he makes it? I mean, it's entirely up to him to give that. You can, up to the stage of moksha, Brahman realization, you can manage to get it. Even a Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan is out of context, out of way. You can even reach up to Vaikuntha. But Golok Vrindavan is extremely difficult. Any thoughts? Why would Krishna make it so difficult? All right, let's hear from Mother Jyoti. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, we read in the same, in Nectar of Devotion, that devotional service has the power to control and conquer the Lord.
Okay.
Which is why it is so rare, and unless the devotee is completely purified, Krishna does not award it. It's
Perfect.
not acquired; it's awarded.
Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. TK. Yes. Who would like to answer from here? Yes, Prabhu.
If somebody is not qualified and if he is given the position, he might misuse it.
He is not qualified and misuse it. All right. Anything else? All right. More or less everyone has the same answer. It's largely about envy. Imagine at this point of time, 16 rounders bhaktas as we are. and we are very confident we're going back to God because 16 mala kar raha hu na main. So we 1600 bhaktas at this point of time, imagine you crash land in Vrindavan. Boom, your eyes open, and you are in Vrindavan, and nobody is looking at you. Nobody is looking at you. Everyone is running in another direction, and right in that direction there is Krishna. Even when you join the herd of the people running in that direction, nobody is looking at you. Everyone is made after Krishna. For example, Gopal Champu, our Jiva Goswami mentions, when Krishna would walk into the forest, Gopas are so attracted that they would just clamor around, or they will just hang around Krishna so close as possible. And if for those who are nearby, they can see Krishna, but those who are behind, they cannot see Krishna. So there were hardly used to be any devotees behind Krishna. Right? So they were devotees. They were in front of Krishna, and they would walk in the reverse order. They cannot take their eye even once from Krishna. And just allow me to unmute. And imagine you are there. बोलेंगे यार कुछ तो आत्मसम्मान होता है, इतने लंबे समय के बाद मैं आया हूं, कोई तो देखना चाहिए था. Your envy will manifest. Even if this point envy doesn't manifest, but for sure is going to manifest when you see all the most beautiful damsels of Vraja, gopis, running in one direction. बोले यार एक भी नहीं देख रही मुड़कर. मेरा कुछ तो भैया कुछ तो है, मेरा कुछ तो अस्तित्व है, एक भी नहीं मुड़ रही. कम से कम भौतिक जगत में शादी करने का मौका तो था, यहाँ तो वो भी चांस नहीं लग रहा. So it's largely because of envy. So unless we are purified of that, and the point I was trying to make that is not of the purified. Point is, Krishna knows. Just like Srila Prabhupada knew what was happening. And he said, I'm going. He said, I'm going. This is enough. Similarly, Krishna knows our heart. Can we just keep the mobiles silent? Similarly, Krishna knows the heart. Therefore, it only rebutted by Krishna, because when he is sure, then only. And in that also, Krishna has made a system. You can only go to Goloka Vrindavan. If you talk Goloka Vrindavan, you can only go to Goloka Vrindavan if you are recommended by a devotee. Even Krishna will not give you direct access. Even Krishna will not give you direct. You can reach to Vaikuntha, but not Vrindavan. Unless a devotee gives a recommendation for you. Even Krishna cannot take you directly in Vrindavan. Therefore, we worship Srimati Radharani, hoping that through Guru Parampara, Srimati Radharani one day will say, ठीक है, try मारते हैं, एक बार लाके देखते हैं, क्या करेगा. So unless that recommendation, so the point is, even to reach Vrindavan, which we often every morning say, the goal of life is Krishna Prema, back home, back to Godhead. Okay. So there also Krishna makes sure that you're under somebody, and that somebody has to take responsibility of you. If you do any sin there, who Krishna gonna hold responsible? Guru. Who Krishna gonna hold responsible? Guru. Ki, what rascal you brought here? How dare you? Go back with him. Both of you get purified. So this process. So anyways, that's a system. That's how it functions. You know. So coming back to this story of Srila Prabhupada, we're talking about it. Srila Prabhupada saw Ketanand Maharaj said, "Oh, what is the need for you to come to?" So as long as you are serving under the spiritual master, or let's say leader, or whatever guru, whatever, then because you know that everything is being provided by him, everything is maintained by him, so there is a sense of humility. But now when you have your own center, that brings a sense of independent mentality. And the thought is, मैंने प्रचार किया है, मैं पैसा लेकर आया हूं, यहाँ का सारा decision मैं लेता हूं. And then you see envy manifesting. And now when your guru says or leader says, okay, Prabhu, I'm coming, you think, अरे यार, आ जाएंगे, 3 दिन के लिए रुकेंगे, कितना खर्चा होगा? You see that? As long as that person is staying under the ashram, he will not have that. But the moment he goes out, and that's what happened. I mean, Kirtanama said, don't come. There's no need of you to come. And when Prabhupada went to San Francisco, Rath-yatra, and the same devotees or Prabhupada disciples did not allow him to sit on the chariot. And that is why Prabhupada became upset, and Prabhupada decided to leave America. And that's the reason Prabhupada came to India in 1971. And that's how in 1971 things began. The 3 projects started. The seed for the 3 projects was sowed in 1971. At least the seed. Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Bombay. Like that, the things started from there. And then the search began for the land. So I like to read something from Brahmanand Prabhu's writing only on this subject matter. I've given you the details of it. So I told you before only that I'm going to spend some time on this principle Ekatvam because it's extremely important. We read it, but we don't understand what it means. So, some few points here. Like this happened, which I've already told you. Okay, sorry, I forgot one more thing. So what happened? Prabhupada had made these 4 devotees sannyasis. And in the meantime, Prabhupada left America. Prabhupada said, this is useless. And Prabhupada left, and Prabhupada went to Europe, from Europe he went to Japan. From Japan, he was supposed to come to India. In the meantime, 1970 Janmashtami celebration came, and Prabhupada at that point of time was in Japan. And the leaders knew that Prabhupada had left because Prabhupada is unhappy. Therefore, masses didn't know why Prabhupada left. Prabhupada have gone on a tour like this. But devotee leaders knew because Prabhupada told Ramakrishna Maharaj, Prabhupada told Brahmanand Prabhu, was sannyasi that time, this is what is happening, I'm leaving America. So what happened, because Brahmanand Prabhu and his brother Gargamuni Prabhu, they loved Prabhupada with their heart and soul. And in their innocence, they saw that Prabhupada's position has been minimized. Just like in San Francisco, the book was published and brought to Prabhupada, Prabhupada's name was not only there. 1970 had a very bizarre history. Prabhupada's name only was not there. What is this? And there was a plank printed, ISKCON International Society. Founder Acharya was not there. A letterhead was brought. Founder Acharya was not there. Prabhupada understood, these people have become too attached to their positions. And they're right now, only when I'm present, they're thinking, what is the use of this old man? I'm the temple president. I have got the chanting. I have got Bhagavad Gita. I can preach, I'm qualified, I can do everything. So this is our story, by the way. This is our story. Don't think this happened to them and don't sit and laugh here. What a fool they were. This is your and my story. We all are coming from Mayavadi background because of envy. So, Brahmanand Prabhu thought, and Gargamuni Prabhu thought, they both started this. They thought Prabhupada's position had been minimized. Now, to counteract the offense which has been created because of minimize, we should maximize his position. At a Kanishta stage, you go from one point to another. Prabhupada has been minimized. Now we should maximize. How to maximize? So there was this big Janmashtami celebration to happen in New Vrindavan. I guess, sorry, not 69, 70 Janmashtami also only, for which Prabhupada had no need for. And it was declared to be one of the biggest event of America. And all these sannyasis and all the devotees reached there. And Brahmananda Prabhu, Vishnu Swami, Gargamuni Swami, and Subala Swami, they declared. They say, you know why Prabhupada have left? Prabhupada is so unhappy with each one of you. Each one of you have committed aparadh to the lotus feet of Prabhupada. And I was like, kya hua? Humne kya kiya? You have not understood the position of Prabhupada. Okay, you tell us what is the position. Prabhupada is Krishna himself. Prabhupada is Krishna himself. And then the call was made to Prabhupada, the message is to Prabhupada in 1970. I'll read that. This comes in Radha Damodar Vilas by Vaisekhi Prabhu. He writes, the GBC man from New Vrindavan finally succeeded in reaching his divine gaze by phone. When Prabhupada hears about the offensive philosophy being preached in New Vrindavan, he immediately clears away the fog and denounces it for what it is, Mayavad philosophy. In Mayavad teachings, the idea of all is one predominates. And because of this, adherents view both Guru and God as the same being. And in the end, they see themselves as the same as well, thus denying all distinctions between living entities. This is ekatvam. Then we have, in the same Radha Damodar Vilas, page number 313, Madhu Dvisha Swami, who was at that point of time with Prabhupada in Japan, he recalls, in Japan, Prabhupada said, after the new Vrindavan revelations, now it has all come out. They have revealed themselves. They have committed the greatest offense. There is only one thing worse than understanding the Guru. Underestimating Guru, disrespecting Guru is the worst thing. But there is only one thing which is more worse than underestimating Guru, that is overestimating Guru. They have said, I am God. Therefore, if I am God, they also can become God. This is Maya Vat. Spiritual master is the vehicle by which one approaches God and is empowered by God to act as his emissary in this world, but he is not God. Prabhupada many times stated that Guru's duty is to serve the Supreme and not to trade places with him. But Brahmanand Swami, in his defense, quoted 11th canto, 17th chapter, verse number 27. Very famous verse. I'll just read out this. Acharya ma vijaniya nava navam manyeta karhichit namritya buddhya sueta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. So, very interesting, huh? Before I read the meaning, you will get a clue here. This we discussed yesterday also, not yesterday, day before yesterday we discussed, right? We were making this point. When it comes to being in front of Guru, how advanced you have become. You should still consider yourself a fool. Never think, I am so great because I have memorized 18,000 shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now I know the meaning of it. There are different degrees of depths. And let's take a look at it, what Brahmanand Prabhu or Swami understood. So this is said, Acharya ma vijaniya. The Acharya is not different than I. This is Krishna speaking. One should know the Acharya as myself, never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. One should know the Acharya as myself. He is not different from me. Now, you can say, that's just like Mayavadi says, principle Ekatva means we are one in God. And Krishna here says, Guru is same as Krishna. So what is the point? No. The point is, Guru is Guru. Same as me means same in interest. Right? Get this thing into your head. Same in interest. The definition of pure devotee means one who obeys the Lord at all times, in all circumstances. There is no question of disobeying. Therefore, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Pratyaja Mamekam Sharanam Praja. At our stage, we keep on going on with the fluctuation. I spoke about this last Friday, and then we had a discussion Saturday evening. There are different foundations of life. And we are already having two wrong foundations, and now to build a foundation of bhakti, it takes a time. So do not have this misnomer understanding because I've started practicing bhakti. Now I'm situated on the platform of bhakti. You still have those two foundations of vikarma and karma. And we keep on struggling with that. So because he read this verse and Brahmananda Swami said, hey, see, Krishna says you're not different than Krishna. And then Prabhupada said, this is not the meaning of it. Like that. So that's how Brahmananda Prabhu, became victim like this. So can you imagine, you can't imagine actually, don't have the capacity, we don't have the capacity to imagine, but now we know the truth. If imagine Srila Prabhupada would be here today, could you ever imagine to say like this? To say Prabhupada says, okay, I want to come to Njari. Prabhupada, you're not needed here. Is it ever possible? Ever possible? But it happened. It happened. I mean, when these 4 devotees were given sannyas, their PDC training was also not over. They were only in the movement maximum. You know, Pramanand Prabhu and Garga Muni were the oldest. They were in the movement only for 1970 में संन्यास हुआ है, 66 में ISKCON का इंस्टीट्यूशन हुआ है. तो कितने साल हुए? 4 साल भी नहीं हुए. और यहाँ पुणे में हम सैफरन सोचते हैं देने की 5 साल के बाद. तो अगले 4 साल तक या 5 साल तक उसको पीडीसी वाला ही ट्रेनिंग मिलता है. उनको पीडीसी ट्रेनिंग खत्म किया, प्रभुपाद ने उनको संन्यास दिया. So it's very important for us to know history and read history to understand where we are, so that we don't make the same mistakes again and again. So before you situate yourself in philosophy of, let's say, Bhagavatam and CC, Bhagavad Gita we should know because Sambandh Gyan is needed, and Sambandh Gyan that gets established very strongly from Bhagavad Gita and also from Srimad Bhagavatam. But after Bhagavad Gita, we should at least spend some time reading Prabhupada Lilamrita. If you read it once, read it 10 times. Because every year when your level of purity increases, your maturity increases, then you will see the same thing with different perspectives. You'll catch different insights from the same incident. So that is a point on the principle of ekatvam. Just to again revise it, it's all because of envy, where we see disunity and superficial unity. And what is a superficial unity? I and the Lord are same. I and Guru are the same. What is the big deal with him? He chants, I chant, he reads, I read. Look how many devotees I have made. You know, I'm so influential. When my Guru speaks, only 50 people watches his online lecture. When I speak, the thousands and thousands of people watch my lecture. Imagine who would not get proud because of this, and who would not think that I'm great. Yes or no? So this is all Maya. Therefore, this verse says, Tatra ko moha kaha shoka. Such a person cannot have any illusion and any anxiety. Who? One who is in same interest with the Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts or reflections on what we have discussed so far? Krishna Chandra Prabhu, long time no see. Would you like to add something? Oh, sorry. I actually muted everyone because some sound was coming. Now you can unmute.
Yeah, Prabhu, I've read this Brahmananda's book about Prabhupada sending them off to, and they all had to walk and go, you know.
So on the principle of ekatvam, any reflections, any thoughts on this? I mean, am I making some sense?
Yeah. We always have to consider ourselves servants and not think that we are the doers. And then the moment we think that we are the doers, then we get puffed up and we think that I'm God.
And so many times we tell our students only, you know, you are not the doer. You are not the doer. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you know, you're not the doer. Prakriti kremani guna karmani sarvasha. Ahankara, vimudatma, murkh kahin ka, apne aap ko karta samajhta hai. And this fellow himself has become attached to his position. And he's thinking, see, how many fellows I have brought to bhakti, how many books I have distributed. So this is illusion. This catches us again and again. And my little reflection on when it begins. Okay, let's Krishna Chandra finish. Then I'll have a question for all of you. It's not that we are always in this mindset, right?
But subtly it will be there, Prabhu.
Subtly it's there, correct. Yeah. But in what situation the circumstance becomes manifested and a person does not even understand that he is victim of it?
Yeah.
What happens? What is the situation that leads to it, and what circumstance leads to it? Wanted to ask reflections on it. We all have it. Envy is there, subtle is there, no doubt about it. But yet things are going okay. But suddenly, sometime we go off the track, and we don't realize also. So, what was that incident that made him off the track? Yes, Vitalu. Very nice. Became attached to the glorification. Started enjoying glorification. That's the thing. Started enjoying glorification. And when started enjoying glorification, it's for me. Started enjoying glorification. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. What else? What else?
We forget that we are here to serve.
Yes.
Not censors, but ultimately we begin to serve our own senses.
Yeah, that's a foundation of karma.
I think that I heard at your broadcast this morning where you all spoke about sense, where you said that, when you start serving your senses, and that's when you lose your direction.
Correct. So I was making a point last week. There are three foundations of life, as scriptures teaches. One is vikarma, which is given to us by our education system and society at large today. The foundation of karma, which is given to us by our family, piety. धन संपत्ति घर आवे जय जगदीश हरे. सब लोगों ने खूब आरती करी है इसकी, राइट? नॉर्थ वालों ने तो करी है, महाराष्ट्र में मुझे नहीं पता क्या करते हैं, वहां पे भी कुछ ना कुछ हो गई, ऐसा ना वैसा. And now Srila Prabhupada and his devotee are trying to give us the foundation of akarma. The foundation of vikarma and karma, more or less the same thing. Sense gratification is the ultimate goal. One is impious sense gratification, other is pious sense gratification. Both are manorate nasti davata vahi. Whereas akarma, there is no manorate nasti davata vahi, is not allowed, and sense gratification is not allowed. Both things are not allowed. This was the foundation of my topic about decision making, which I spoke on Saturday evening also. I'll speak elaborately on one of these things because many asked for it. We'll get it recorded, we'll share then. That's the foundation of the point of decision making. Anything else on this? How and what situation we get derailed? One is getting attached to the glories, hearing one's glory. These are something you should write it down. Huh? These are things which become victim to it. तुम्हें याद रहेगा तो बहुत अच्छी बात, नहीं याद रहा तो फिर क्या, एटलीस्ट ये तो पता है कि कहाँ क्या होता है. जैसे like this last Sunday Bhakti Shastri discussion about austerities, it was a very healthy discussion we had. I told you, write down these things so we remember, so we don't fall victim to it, same mistakes. So okay, and Krishna Chandrapur was making a point about again sense gratification.
Prabhu, we just had our 4 days of Japa Sharia course by Brihad Bhagavata Maharaj.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
So he said the whole root cause of all this problem is inattentive chanting.
Yeah, inattentive chanting, correct. But actually, the sadhaka stage is very difficult. But root cause is absolutely. Actually, point is we cannot chant attentively. We just can't. It's not that we spend 22 hours doing something and 2 hours we will be able to chant attentively. The 22 hours matters a lot. So to be able to chant attentively, our 22 hours, how we live, plays a very vital role. So, but yes, the root cause in one way is inattentive chanting. Is a good way to say, to inspire people to become attentive. No doubt about it. Yes, anything else? What's the point when we get derailed?
When we are good at something.
We are good at something.
Some new devotee comes up and he is better or he has a equal level, then my position is unsecure.
My position is unsecure. All right. I'll reiterate my question here. My question was about everything seems to be going okay. I'm conscious. I should be respectful. I'm conscious. I should not do things which is not, as expected. Follow the proper culture and etiquette. Have you seen when we come in the Bhakti in the beginning, we are very humble. We offer our businesses. Na Prabhuji, Margdarshan Dijiye Prabhuji. And to come to a stage when you say, you're instructing Guru. Yeah, Prabhupada not needed in Vrindavan. Was not needed in New Vrindavan. You're not required in Janmashtami. And to take an excuse of there is a threat, Prabhupada, you should not sit on the chariot. When Prabhupada is saying, I want to do it. I mean, when Prabhupada is saying, then what is the point of you saying no to Prabhupada? See? I mean, for example, as if Prabhupada has to come here and say something, would you say anything else to Prabhupada? You'll hold your tail between 2 legs and run here and there. Yes or no? But they said it. This is what one's familiarity, and through familiarity we start thinking, हम भी कितने महान हैं, हम कोई कम थोड़ा है, हमारी बुद्धि देखो कितनी बड़ी हो गई है, हम ज़्यादा सोच सकते हैं. And then the same fellow, that Tom, Dick and Harry, who was lying in the gutter and struggling in the lap of Maya, now he begins to think, I have become so pure, so advanced, I can instruct. So that's what happened. That's where we all came from, like this. So that's the point of Ekatvam. All right, we'll at least should read one paragraph today. Let's read one paragraph, then we'll pause if in case anyone has anything on that. The spiritual entities are meant for enjoyment. By nature, by constantly every living being, both the Supreme Lord and each different part and parcel is meant for enjoyment internally. The living beings who are engaged in the material tabernacle are also seeking enjoyment always, but they are seeking the enjoyment on a platform which is not meant for them. Aside from this material world, there is a spiritual platform where the spiritual being is enjoying with his innumerable associates without any trace of material qualities. That platform is called Nirguna. On the Nirguna platform, there is no clash of enjoyment. Here in the material world, there is always a clash between different individual beings, because here the center of enjoyment is missed. I'll reiterate, when nobody cares who gets the credit, and amazing things can be created. The center of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, who is the center of the sublime and spiritual rasa dance. We are all meant for joining him and for enjoying life with one transcendental interest and without any clash. That is the high platform of spiritual interest. And as soon as such a perfect form of oneness is realized, there can be no question of illusion or lamentation. There could not be no illusion or question of lamentation. So my question to all of you now, maybe I can make the last question. How to understand Bhagavad Gita? Recently I had a program in Bruges. So there's one gentleman, he messaged me again whenever he comes to the program. Lokmanya Tilak ji said duty is the only thing that Bhagavad Gita teaches. So you, his con fellows, think you know better than Lokmanya Tilak. What is your understanding on it? I don't know anything. I can only say what Krishna says. I just sent him verses after verses. Here is your answer. And the very first verse I told him, Naham Prakasha. The fools cannot understand me. I will in 7th chapter, verse number 25. मैंने एक शब्द अपना नहीं लिखा. I copied the Sanskrit word to word meaning and its translation verse after verse ऐसे करके 10 श्लोक भेज दिए. मैं कहा कम से कम इसी बहाने कुछ तो पढ़ेगा, फिर तो बुद्धि आएगी. तो उसके बाद कुछ देर पढ़ने के बाद this all going during morning program. कुछ पढ़ने के बाद 1 घंटे का फिर मैसेज चलता है. Oh, so now you are calling me a fool, and you are also saying Gangadhar Tilak ji is fool. You have put me on the same level with Tilak ji. This was your understanding. मैंने कुछ रिप्लाई नहीं दिया. मैंने कहा मैंने तो कुछ नहीं कहा. तुम्हें जो भी डिबेट करनी है अब कृष्ण से डिबेट करते रहो. Because these are Krishna's word. Because you are not in the mood of receiving only. Why should I waste my time? He asked for refutation. He asked for a debate. I said, I'm not going to get into a debate. I'm not going to make even a single comment on it. Because you're saying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Let's, yes, ये रहा Bhagavad Gita. और word to word meaning भी दिया मैंने उसको. मैं कहा तू पढ़ ले अपने आप. Decode कर ले अपने आप करके. So there are a lot of people get different understanding out of Bhagavad Gita. So my question to all of you now, how can you understand Bhagavad Gita? In the context of discussion we have, we'll try to understand. How can we understand Bhagavad Gita? Yes, Prashant. Being non-envious. What else? Yes, Ashok. Here from Srishna Mayavadi is also spiritual master. Right? Okay. What else? Yes, Varun Prabhu. How can you understand Bhagavad Gita?
In the mood of surrender, Prabhu.
In the mood of surrender. Okay, Madan Sundar.
By becoming a devotee.
By becoming a devotee. Mother Yagya.
Prabhuji, Arjuna said in chapter 2, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam, and Lord Krishna then started instructing.
So surrender to Krishna. Krishna, I accept you as my Guru. All right, Mother Jyoti, Adesh Deepak Prabhu.
Prabhuji, with a submissive and a receptive attitude.
All right. So we can understand Bhagavad Gita from Krishna's interest and viewpoint only. Therefore, Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is, which means what Krishna wanted to convey is what I have presented to you. If we bring our viewpoints into Bhagavad Gita, then we'll have many paths. And Bhagavad speaks about many parts also. Karma Yoga is there, Jnana Yoga is there, Dhyana Yoga is there. And you'll see all these different spiritualists are hanging on each of the path and saying that this is what Bhagavad Gita says. जब देश को बनाना था तो कर्तव्य का मार्ग सर्वश्रेष्ठ हो गया तो all respect to Lokmanya Tilak, he wrote about it, which is good because that was the need of the hour. If that is what Krishna wanted, you do your duty, that is your platform. Why would Krishna say Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja? This is concluding statement of Krishna. Why would he say that? इसलिए ना हम प्रकाश गधों को समझ नहीं आता चलो वो समय बीत गया and where did Krishna said if you surrender to me you stop doing duty? Arjuna still fought. So there are different levels of it. So how to understand Bhagavad Gita? We can only understand Bhagavad Gita if we study it from the point of view of Krishna's interest. And how can we study from the viewpoint of Krishna's interest? Well, bona fide spiritual master. He can only present that idea and that can help us understand it. So long story short, even if you're a PhD scholar, even you're the president, the vice president of India, you're still a fool if you're not under the bona fide parampara. And we have had many such great personalities who made a joke of Bhagavad Gita, writing some junk as a commentary and have misguided people at large again and again. So whoever we are, how elderly we are, how scholarly we are, we still cannot understand the secrets of life on our own effort. As long as envy is covering our consciousness, we'll see the life in a different shades, different than the truth. So these anarthas are like colored glasses put on your eyes. As long as you have colored glasses on your eyes, you cannot see the real picture. You can only see the colored reality. Hare Krishna. That's the whole subject matter of it. So we'll tomorrow Thursday, right? So we'll catch up again tomorrow. And Wednesday? I'm saying tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. So we'll meet tomorrow. So we'll complete 7th verse. And we'll also take 8th verse. What is 8th verse? Now 8th verse is a discussion about Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva. ये विषय तो कभी समाप्त नहीं हो सकता उस पर चर्चा शुरू करी जाए क्योंकि विषय अचिंत्य है. So such a person must know in fact the greatest of all, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without veins, pure, uncontaminated, the self-sufficient philosopher who is avoiding everyone's desires since time immemorial. So it looks like a bellboy, na? Who is avoiding everyone's desires since time immemorial. Who's avoiding everyone's desires? A bellboy. You go to the restaurant and you call for the waiter, chalo, mera order lo. And the waiter in the restaurant for the time immemorial is fulfilling the desires of all his clients. So no, that's not the meaning of it. Unfortunately, we treat God like that. जब आवश्यकता पड़ गई पहुंच जाओ और जब आवश्यकता नहीं है तो भूल जाओ. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. Okay, so we have only 2 paragraphs. This was the main subject matter of Ekatvam. Prabhupada makes some more points. We'll reflect it tomorrow. Any concluding things anyone wants to add to it? Yes, Abhishek Prabhu. Question. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Let me ask this question to all of you. Maybe it could be your question also. What to do? I already have envy in my heart. So how can I make progress? Or other words, how do I uproot envy? Envy is not like, कोई झाड़ लगा है तुम्हारे क्यारी में, गए उखाड़ दिया, निकल गई. It is not like that you can just uproot envy like this. Envy is there. Envy exists in different stages. We spoke about 6 types of envy on that canto, right? Pest and pesticide. 4 types of envy, 4 types of envy. We spoke about it. Master, etc., etc. There are degrees of envy, as Srimad Bhagavatam teaches. So my question to all of you is, I don't know, was it your question? If not, we'll come to your question. My question to all of you is, so envy is a thing which colors our vision again and again. So how long does it stay? After which year I know now acting on the platform of pure transcendence, no envy? Or is it a lifetime's project? Any thoughts on that? Yes, Riteshu.
Means
Devotees cannot hear you online. Before anyone speaks here, you have to have a system, otherwise they'll get spaced out. Envy is overcome by gratitude. So what are you doing for cultivating gratitude, Anshul Prabhu? That is a one-line statement, but what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to cultivate gratitude? It's a battle that we have to fight and win on everyday basis. This is the point I wanted to make. Just to pause it for a second. This is a battle which we have to fight and win every day. Not only on envy, of other anathas also. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. With Kama, you might have a more experience because it's more external, and envy may not be. So with Kama, isn't that an everyday struggle, everyday battle? And you have to win on every day. And at the end of the night, when you go to sleep, and you feel like, whoa, thank God, I did not become agitated today. So good day today. I defeated lust. Yes or no? Same is with envy. And the most deep-rooted among all is envy. So we'll pause and close at this thoughts over here for all of you. And for those who have questions here, offline, we'll discuss. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow morning. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.